Good morning, my dear students, or good afternoon. I think you are hungry. Hunger leads to anger. If you add D before that, it will become danger. But for doctor, for a professional doctor, up to 2, we must be able to sustain. We must be able to withstand the hunger. Because tomorrow in your professional practice, you may be in the surgery, that may be up to 2 or 3, 2:30 or 3, you must be able to. For that, you must get prepared from now. So, coming to the class, occupational health. Last Wednesday, we have discussed about the occupational health. In continuation of the last class, we will discuss or we will share the ideas about the occupational health today also. The other day, in the last week, we have discussed about the occupational health. Now, we will discuss about the prevention of the occupational hazards in total or in general. Later, we will go into details of each and every disease that occurs due to occupation. Occupational diseases, that is another chapter. In the occupational diseases, we will discuss about the individual diseases. Here, today, we will discuss about the prevention of occupational hazards in general. To prevent these occupational hazards, we are having 3 ways, 3 lines of management. Number 1 being medical measures, being in the medical profession. And the second being engineering measures, though we are not engineers, but we must be able to know and we must be able to rectify, correct, and give good advice for the management or employer to prevent the occupational hazards among the workers working in that occupation, in that factory or so. Engineering measures. It starts from the beginning, that is from blueprint, from preparation of blueprint itself, it should start. Okay, we'll go into details in later. The third section will deal about the statutory or legislative measures. Some guidelines are given, some preventive measures to protect the health and the life of the employees. It is not sufficient. If we cross that limit or if we do not have the sufficient provision for the workers as per the guidelines, there is a law. That is legislative measures. How to control it, how to improve the health of the people, how to maintain the health of the people working in the factories or industries. These are statutory or legislative measures. If we do not follow these, we are liable for prosecution. We are liable for that. We means the employer. The employer is liable for prosecution. He has to take certain steps as per law. So, in these 3 chapters, that is, 1 is medical measures, 2nd being engineering measures, 3rd being the statutory or legislative measures. We will discuss about the prevention of occupational hazards. Medical measures. First, we will discuss about the medical measures. It starts with pre-placement examination. The medical measures of the employees working in a factory or so, in an occupation. These start with pre-placement examination. The purpose of this pre-placement examination is to place the right man in right job in right time. To place the right person in the right job in right time. This is called ergonomics. Ergonomics. It is done at the time of entry into the factory, entry into the occupation, that is at the time of employment, when we are giving the job for that person, he must be exposed to pre-placement examination. For that matter, even we as medical students, when entering into the medical college, we are subjected to pre-placement examination as on paper. That is a must. Every student should submit the fitness certificate, physical fitness certificate to undergo medical training. And to do as a doctor, is he able to do it? Is his physical fitness sufficient? Is physics sufficient? Is his mental stability sufficient? Is his vision sufficient? Is he having any color blindness? Like this, we will examine each and every student. But how far it is going on, I do not know now. But when we were students, we were subjected to complete thorough examination at the time of entering as a medical. If your parents are doctors, you can ask them. Then, about the workers, we must know about the medical status of that worker. Medical status of that worker. All vitals we have to see. And then the family. Is that family cooperative? Is that family having any contagious disease like that? Occupational and social history. Does it fit? Does it make him fit to do this work? So, in this foreground, individual medical history, family history, occupational history, as well as social history must be taken at the time of pre-placement, that is giving employment. Physical examination must be done. Physical examination, thorough physical examination, and then biological examination, and followed by radiological examination. Without these three, it is not complete. Whenever you suspect, you must take a radiograph. You must see the radiograph, not X-rays. We cannot see the X-rays. X-rays we cannot see. Till now, I have not seen even a single X-ray. Radiographs we will see. So, in the pre-placement examination, we will examine him physically, biologically, and radiologically. Hazard or any undesirable condition. There are some hazards and undesirable conditions in industries, that is in the occupation, certain occupations. Lead industry, you take lead. In Telugu it is called sesam, I think. Sesam. This may produce anemia in the worker, or hypertension, or peptic ulcer. The industries that deal with lead may produce anemia or hypertension or peptic ulcer in the worker. In the same way, dyes industries. This may produce asthma, skin disease, or renal problems, that is kidney disease. Some solvents, they may produce dermatitis, liver diseases, hepatic diseases, and nephrotic diseases, that is kidney diseases. Silica may produce lung diseases. Silica produces dust, and that dust is inhaled through the nose, into the respiratory tract, and through via trachea, it enters into the respiratory tract, respiratory endings, that is alveoli. In the alveoli, they produce this lung disease, sometimes even tuberculosis. And then radium. Radium also produces some ill health, and this also should be considered. The signs of ill health. Number 2, that is periodic examination. It is not sufficient once that worker is subjected to pre-placement examination. Later also, every year or for every 6 months, periodically he must be exposed to examination, medical examination. There is a must. Just like we enter into the medical college and by entrance, but it is not sufficient. Every year we have to write the examinations. In the same way, he must be exposed to periodic examination. That is per annum, once in a year, workers examined once in a year. This is the guideline. Monthly examinations are indicated in certain occupational exposures to lead, dyes, and radium. Lead, the workers who are working in the factories that is producing this, using the lead, dyes, and radium, their monthly examination is a must. It is not once in a year. Particular care to workers returning from medical leave. Some person might have gone on medical leave for 1 week for chickenpox. Then also he must be examined, because chickenpox, it is not 1 week is not sufficient. For a person who has suffered from typhoid, if he comes back to the work, his stool must be examined. Like that, once a person has taken medical leave and coming back to the job with with joining report, he must be examined once again. Number 3, medical and health care services. These workers must be provided with medical and health care services. All the workers working in the factories or industries or any occupation, this must be provided with medical and health care services. Medical care for workers and his family. Not only for that worker, for that family, for family members of that worker, for all of them, we have to give medical and health care. This is taken up by ESI, Employees State Insurance. Those workers will be given a card. The workers will contribute something. The employer will contribute something, though it is private or government or anywhere. 1/4 will be contributed by the worker and 3/4 by the employer. Irrespective of what payment they have done, irrespective of the payment the worker has done, how much may be the cost of the treatment he will be given. It is not depending upon the amount what he has contributed. It is the need that what he needs, that will be given to that worker. ESI, Employees State Insurance Scheme. This is a big chapter. We will discuss ESI in future classes. That is a big question. And then first aid services. Every factory or industry must have first aid service. First aid, even a bus, a traveling bus must have first aid box, and the driver and conductor must be trained in first aid, in giving first aid to the travelers. In the same way, if we take the population of India or even Andhra Pradesh, not even 0.05 or 0.02% are trained in first aid. It is better to have first aid training at least to 1% of the people. 1 in 100, if he is trained in first aid, at the site of event, at the site of the occurrence of the event, he will give the first aid and transport that person to us, and we can save the life. For that, 1% of the people must be trained in first aid. For that matter, even some of the students, they do not have the correct knowledge about the first aid. We may think that we are doctors, but at the remote area where there are no facilities, a train accident or a bus accident or a drowning or something, it will not occur in an institution. We must know the first aid and how to transport him. That's why first aid training is a must. And for this, St. John Ambulance Service and Red Cross and Indian Medical Association, these 3 associations put together, they are trying to make 1% of the people get training in first aid. And then immunization. Especially, though it is of low cost, tetanus toxoid, that must be given to all the employees. To the high risk group, that is we, the medical profession, the doctors, the nurses, the paramedical forces, the people working in the hospitals, they must be given hepatitis B vaccination. That is a must. We must take it. And it must be given by the employer. Immunization, appropriate immunization for the workers must be given. Number 4, the notification. Initiate measures for prevention and protection and effective application. Investigate the working conditions. We have to investigate the working conditions. How the workers' conditions are there in the factories. Those are also our brothers, our sisters, our family members. Those are from our community only. Those are not from other country or enemy country. I should not say enemy country. So, for the Factories Act, we are having Factories Act, that is 22 notifiable diseases are there. If a worker has fallen into any one of these 22 notifiable diseases, it must be notified to the higher authorities. Mines Act, according to Mines Act, there are 3 diseases that must be notified. As per DOC regulations, 8 diseases are there. These are everybody should know, and every doctor should know. We do not know who works where. Tomorrow you may become a doctor at any place under your purview, your jurisdiction. If any factory or mine or anything is there, you must take care of it. Wherever you are working, if it is a small city, city or a town, where there is no RTC dispensary, the doctor working there is the medical officer for that RTC. Navodaya school is there. The local private practitioner may be the doctor for them, and he should know all these things. So, for your future, it is a must to know all these things. And in detail, we'll discuss about this Factories Act, what are the 22 notifiable diseases, and Mines Act, what are the 3 diseases like that. And then supervision of working environment. Working environment, it should be congenial. Working environment. Information for prevention of occupational diseases must be taken. Frequent visits of physician to the factory. The physician should frequently visit the factory and the working conditions of the workers and the environment, how the environment is, how the ventilation is, how the light is, how the walls are there, how the flooring is there, how the ceiling is there. Everything we must take there. Frequent visits by the physician will take care of it. Check the various aspects of working environment. Physician, as a doctor, should be acquainted with raw materials, process, and products. What is the raw material used in that factory? What are its qualities? How much bad it can do for the human life, human health, human living conditions, like that. Every doctor must be acquainted. He should be acquainted with the raw materials used in the factories, the process by which they are doing. If you take a sugar factory, how it is processed. Sugar cane is processed to sugar cane juice, and then the sugar. How that whiteness of the sugar comes? By adding concentrated sulfuric acid, we will get that white color. Otherwise, it is brown. The sugar coming out of this sugar cane is brown in color. The natural color is brown. That's why brown sugar is the best one. There is a misnomer. Brown sugar means it is a sedative. No. Brown sugar means it is the product that is coming out of the sugar cane directly. To that, we will add sulfuric acid to get the white color. White color. That's why if you go to the 5-star hotels, star hotels, or in foreign countries, they will supply only brown sugar. Don't think that brown sugar is sedative. That is the correct one, what we have to use, brown sugar. And study various aspects of occupational physiology. A physician should study the various aspects of occupational physiology, enlist the cooperation of the safety engineers, industrial hygienists, and psychologists. Safety engineers, industrial hygienists. Industry hygiene is the word used for human, but here industrial hygiene, the total industry as a whole, it must have hygiene. It must be hygienic. And then the psychologists, they must study the psychologists should know about the psychological aspects of the workers, how they are feeling, are they having any entertainment or not, are they feeling depressed, are they going for suicide tendencies, everything we must study. Maintenance and analysis of records. Yes, this is most important. We speak so much, we do so much of service, but we the doctors, we are poor in documentation. We are poor in documentation. We will not put it on the paper properly. So maintenance and analysis, maintenance, the data entry as well as analysis of the records, that will give us clues for improving the health or prevention of the occupational diseases. Essential for planning, development, and efficient operation of an occupational health service. This maintenance and analysis of the records is essential for planning, further planning, development, and efficient operation of the occupational health services. These are also useful for the maintenance of workers' health record. Workers' health, each worker must have health record, and occupational disability records. Occupational disability records. Health education and counseling. This health education and counseling must start before the worker enters into the factory. Before the worker enters into the factory, he must be given health education about the raw material used there and what are the drawbacks, what will be the setbacks in that factory. Everything must be given, how to protect himself, how to protect his family from the hazards. He must be given health education as well as counseling also. Explain the correct use of protective devices, personal protective equipment. Now we are every day in and day out, everybody is talking about PPE, personal protective equipment. These are supplied for the politicians, not for the doctors. Politicians and democracy and bureaucracy is dominating the scientific society, the useful medical fraternity. So this personal protection equipment, how to use them, how to wear a glove, how to wear a gown, everything personal protective. You are seeing the frontline warriors, the doctors and the nurses who are working directly with the patients, who are giving service directly to the patients. These are highly exposed, and these people must be given personal protective equipment. As you know, in Andhra Medical College, there are 7 postgraduates. They have become positive. In Siddhartha Medical College, Vijayawada, there are 6 postgraduates. In Anantapur, so many like that. We are seeing the cases among the postgraduates mainly. And the senior doctors, they are escaping. Not escaping, this means the postgraduates means the junior most doctors. These people must take care. They must give correct importance for the protection. PPE, correct usage of this. They should not neglect. If we neglect, this is the thing what will happen. And there is another thing, that is the government should supply. If the supply is not there, we cannot use it. It is costly and we cannot use it. For that sake, the Indian Medical Association has come forward and they are supplying. As the Medical Students Network, we are giving PPE kits, N95 masks to the house surgeons and students if they are working in the COVID hospitals. Appropriate equipment we are giving. For the people in the front line, we are giving PPE kits. For the people who are working outside, we are giving surgical masks like that. Gloves, masks, etc. Remind about the dangers of the dangers in the industry. Before entering into that industry itself, we must remind about the dangers. Assist the worker in his process of adjustment to working. Assist the worker in his process of adjustment to working. A person has entered into a factory as a worker. He must get adjusted. For that, some assistance is required by the senior people. Wherever you go, if you go to the mother-in-law's place after marriage, you must be assisted. You must be assisted for some time to adjust to that circumstances. For that sake, in the previous days, one woman who is close to that bride will be were sent along with her to be there for some months or for some few years, and now it has become lessened. And now 3 days, the person who goes along with her, she will stay there for 3 days till she adjusts. That has become shortened. Then home and community environment. This also we have to give health education. Next, coming to engineering measures. Engineering measures. After all, the human body is a machine, and whatever is there in the body, it is all engineering process that is occurring. It is all mechanical and engineering work. In addition to that, we are having mind, heart, like this, extra, which we cannot explain. Something unexplainable superpower is there. Design of the building. From the blueprint stage, design of the building means the factory or the industry, whatever it is. The blueprint, the blueprint means which we are going to do, that is drawn on a paper. Our future plan is drawn on the paper, that is called blueprint. Blueprint stage. Type of the floor, which type of floor is suitable for that industry. Walls, the height of the building, the roof, the doors, windows, cubic space per worker for that industry. Like that, how much of the cubic space is necessary. Everything should be taken into consideration. And good housekeeping must be there. Good housekeeping. Whitewashing once a year. You see the industries, for decades together, it is not whitewashed. It is dull color, dark, black, like that. We are seeing the industries. But whitewashing once a year. Even in our houses, for every Sankranti, we will whitewash. Not in these apartments culture like this, but previously when we were in villages, a small house, for that every Sankranti we used to have whitewash. Vacuum cleaning. Cleaning also must be vacuum cleaning. Wet cleaning. Why? The dust which is, if we use the ordinary broomsticks, the dust will raise and it will come into the air, and it is inhaled by the workers, and it will cause respiratory problems. That's why wet cleaning, you throw some water and then clean it. And even in the villages, in the morning, they will pour some kallapi like that, because the dust particles will not raise from that in front of the house. And above that, they used to put some rangoli, that is muggu, that contains calcium hydroxide, that is sunnam, like that, which is antibiotic, and that is taking care of the health of the people in that house. In the same way, in the industry also, wet cleaning, vacuum cleaning, all these must be taken care of by good housekeeping. Good housekeeping officer must be there. Maintenance of protective equipment also. Once given means it should not be used lifelong. Maintenance of that must be there. Any mask, it should not be used for more than 4 hours. It should not be used for more than 4 hours. Do not put continuously. The mask should not be put continuously. It is more dangerous than not using. Then general ventilation. Ventilating openings 5 square feet per worker. Ventilating openings means the windows, all these things. Per worker, it should be 5 square feet. If there are 10 workers working in that, 10 into 5, 50 square feet windows. 2 or 3 windows or 3, like that. The size that must be 5 square feet per worker. Efficient exhaust ventilation system where the heat is produced. Even in our kitchens we use that one. Efficient exhaust ventilation system. The hot air will go up and it should be sent out of the room. 500 cubic feet space per worker must be there. 500 cubic feet. This is 3-dimensional. It is length, width, and the height. 500 cubic feet space must be there for each worker. Mechanization. Wherever possible, go for mechanization. To the fullest possible extent, hand mixing replaced by mechanization. If we want to mix this grinding pindi, as you have seen in the picture Gundamma Katha, NTR, like that, the hands and the fingers may be damaged, injured. If for a small thing, if it is like that, what about the industry which works on electricity and which goes in a high speed? So wherever possible, you use to the fullest possible extent for utilization of mechanization. It prevents dermatitis, injuries, acids from one place to another place. If you want to transport acids from one place to another place, it should be through pipes. Dangerous operations if there are there. It should be by robots. Dangerous operations if you want to conduct in the factories, those must be by robots. Substitution. Replacement of harmful material by harmless ones are one of the lesser toxicity. If possible, replace the harmful substance with harmless. If it is not possible, we have to use it, then go for lesser toxicity. Replace it with lesser toxicity material. For example, white phosphorus, which causes FASIJA. It can be replaced by harmless phosphorus sesquisulfide. Lead paints can be replaced by zinc or iron paints. Mercury salts can be replaced by silver salts. Benzene can be replaced by acetone. Dust. Water sprays, for example, wet drilling, or when you are drilling wet spray, you pour some water when you are drilling, then the dust will not come out. Moistening the process, grinding, sieving, mixing, in all these 3 types are other, etc. This must be, wet sprays must be used. Enclosures. Enclosure of grinding machinery should be combined with exhaust ventilation. Isolate the offensive process in the separate building. Workers not connected are saved. By this process of isolating the offensive process in a separate building, offensive process will be there, some process will be offensive. You keep it separate. By this, all the workers are not connected and most of the workers may be saved. Not only in space, but also the time. Then local exhaust ventilation. Trapping of dust and fumes at source. Trapping of dust and fumes at source. When you go to the ginning factory or cotton spinning mills like that, the exhaust fans will be on the floor. Whatever the dust or the particles comes out, that will take and it will go into the pipes and it will go out of that building. Otherwise, these will be inhaled by the workers. So when you observe these factories, when you go for a visit of the industry, you can see this one. The underground, on the floor, you can see these exhaust fans. These will take care of that one. Breathing zone of workers kept free from dust. Breathing zone of the workers must be kept free from dust. Nowadays, after this smoking also, for smokers, separate rooms must be maintained. They should not smoke outside in the public. So, separate room for smoking must be provided. Protective devices not substitute for other control measures. Respirators or gas masks. Actually, I wanted to put the figures of these one here, but due to lack of time, I'm unable to do it. Earplugs, earmuffs, all of you might be knowing or seeing or using also. Helmets, usage of helmet, not only in driving, but the workers also, something may fall from the roof and his head he may get head injury. That's why helmet must be used by the workers in the industries as well as in the mines, Singareni colonies like that. They should have good helmets. Gumboots, safety shoes. When I was working as a health officer, the sanitary workers, I should not call them as Paki people like that. Sanitary workers, they used to go into the drain, which is highly hazardous, highly contagious, highly infectious, and they used to work in that circumstances. They must be given gumshoes. Gumshoes means that it will come up to the knee level, It will protect from the injuries as well as infection. Gumshoes, safety shoes, goggles, especially when the welding work is taken up, the goggle, and even this even this COVID virus also, some people say it is transmitted through conjunctiva. So even for this HIV/AIDS, hepatitis B, all these things also, when you are doing surgery, even if you are not having any refractive error also, you must use these goggles. Gloves and aprons. Time అయిపోయిందా? అయిపోతే చెప్పండి. టైం అయిపోయినప్పుడు చెప్పండి. Okay. Gloves and aprons, and then barrier creams, but don't go for sunscreen tubes you are using. That will cause chemical reaction and it will destroy the natural this one skin texture. So, but in the industries, barrier creams must be used and barrier screens must be used. And they must be used in a correct way. Environmental monitoring. Periodic environmental surveys must be done. Thermal environment, ventilation, lighting, and jointly, these must be conducted. This monitoring and supervision must be conducted jointly by the doctors and engineers. If we properly, if we might have done the things in a right way, we might not have lost 12 to 15 lives in Visakhapatnam due to the recent hazard. I think you have seen, everybody knows about it. I should not comment on that. Statistical monitoring. review of collected data, health and environmental exposures, evaluation of adequacy of preventive measures, and permissible exposure levels. For everything, there is permissible exposure levels, which is below that level, it is harmless to the person, harmless to the worker. If it exceeds that level, it is dangerous, it is harmful for the worker. So it should not cross that permissible exposure level. Then research offers understanding of industrial health problems. The research is an ongoing process, and it is the key for the betterment of this health of the people working in the industries or any professionals. So research is a must. Permissible exposure levels, they must be changing. Our body resistance is also changing. Stamina is also changing, and environment is changing. By this, the research only can give the correct answer to change the permissible exposure levels also. It is not as it was thought 50 years back or 100 years back. Occupational cancers, we must take care about the occupational cancers. Then accident prevention, research in accident prevention, research in occupational cancers, industrial fatigue due to industrial work, and vocational psychology, vocational psychology due to this employment, this work, that also must be taken care of. Then coming to legislation, the previous two things that will improve the health of the people, that will prevent the hazards. But legislation, if you don't follow, you will be prosecuted and you will be in troubles. The factory will be in trouble. The employer will be in trouble. The responsible officers will be in trouble. Factory laws for prevention of occupational diseases to govern. Why these factory laws? Why they have produced these laws for the factories for the prevention of these occupational diseases? To govern the conditions in the industry. If there are no governing rules, if there are no rules and regulations, they may construct, they may maintain, they may work as they like for the self-development, for the profit purpose. But they will not look into the this health of the workers who are working day and night, who are working, keeping their health as a risk. To safeguard the health and welfare of the workers. For these purposes, to govern the conditions in the industry. The second one is to safeguard the health and welfare of the workers. These factory laws are necessary. Factories Act 1948. So 1948, in the year of independence itself, we have got this Factories Act introduced in, but it was introduced in the British Empire, during the British Empire. That is 1881. This Factories Act was introduced, but what we are following now is Factories Act 1948. Revised and amended several times, came into force from 1st April 1949. 1st April 1949. That is this 4 plus 4, 4 plus 3.5, 7.5 months after independence. 7.5 months after independence. The latest amendment, 1987, the Factories Amendment Act 1987. After that, I had to verify whether there is any amendment. The children of the lawyers, if you happen to be the daughter or son of a lawyer, you can enlighten me, you can share the idea. The latest Factories Amendment, Factories Act Amendment 1987, whether it is followed or whether there is any amendment, please tell me. This act applies to the whole of India except Jammu and Kashmir. Now, this Jammu and Kashmir also, I think it may apply. What is a factory? We are talking about Factories Act like that. It is an establishment. Factory is an establishment which employs 10 or more workers where power is used. Power means electrical power, external power, where the motor is run on electricity. If 10 or more workers, if the 10 workers are working in that, that establishment will come under Factories Act. The second clause is 20 or more workers where power is not used. There is no electricity, there is no motor, but the people are working. Some sewing machines, like that, sewing machine industry, something where more than 20 workers are working. If the power is used, 10 workers. If the power is not used, 20 workers. Please remember this. Staff pattern, Chief Inspector of Factories will be there, Additional Chief Inspector, Joint Inspector, Deputy Chief Inspector, Safety Officers. Some of you may be from Vizag Steel Plant also, employs children. You can ask your parents. Safety Officer, 1,000 or more workers. If that establishment is having 1,000 or more workers, it must have safety officer. But as far as my knowledge goes, it is okay. Welfare officer must be there for 500 or more workers. Safety officer for 1,000 workers. Welfare officer for 500 or more workers. If the establishment is having 500 workers, it must give a job for this welfare officer who has to look after the welfare of the workers. Completely, his job is only to look after the welfare of the safety officer, 1,000 workers. Provisions regarding health, cleanliness, lighting and ventilation, medical facilities. These must be provided. Safety, treatment of the waste and effluents. Even, I think, up to what time can we? 12, 5, 12. I think you are exhausted. It seems you are exhausted. Shall we stop or go further? Okay, 1 or 2 slides will finish. Treatment of the waste and effluents, elimination of dust and fumes, and then provision of spittoons, control of temperature, supply of cool drinking water during summer. Supply of water is their responsibility. Employment of cleaners, minimum of 500 cubic feet, what we have discussed, cubic feet space for each worker, prescribes precautions for safety of the workers. Specific welfare measures for the workers. What are the specific welfare measures to be provided by the employer to the workers? Washing facilities must be there. Washing facilities. Now, even a cloth shop or a gold shop, if you go outside, they are keeping soap and water, and then foot operated sanitizer. Sanitizer, we should not press on that. By pressing that, we are contaminating ourselves. So, foot operated. We will be having shoes or chappals. So, if we press the foot switch, foot pad, the sanitizer will come into our hands. Like that, we have to follow that one. But in majority of the shops, they are keeping a bottle. It's not good. Bottle pressing is not good. Facilities for storing and drying of the clothes. Facilities for sitting, first aid appliances, shelters, restrooms, and lunch rooms. Lunch room, shelter. Even the students, you are given the restrooms and like this. Canteens, where there are more than 250 workers, where there are more than 200 workers, 250 workers, the canteen must be provided at subsidized rate. At subsidized rate. I have told in the previous class what subsidized. Creches for more than 30 women workers. If an establishment is having more than 30 women workers, a creche must be maintained for the children who are born for these workers. Crush must be maintained, and in that the paramedical staff will be there. They take care of these children. Employment of women and young persons. No employment for child below 14 years. We should not employ any person who is less than 14 years, even at your house, as a servant maid. It is a crime. You will be put in jail. You have to give compensation for them. The definition of child labor itself, a child aged between 5 and 14, not going to school, whether he is working or not, whether he is working for outside or even in his house, is a child labor. If he is not going to school, between 5 and 14, is a child labor. So, no child less than 14 years must be employed. Adolescent employees 15 to 18 years certified by the certifying surgeon regarding their fitness of work. Surgeon means here doctor. 15 to 18 years, this is a gap. During this period, if the doctor gives the fitness certificate, he can be employed. The working hours between 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. only. Not to employ women in dangerous occupations. We should not employ women in dangerous occupations. To set up crush, okay, we have discussed. Workers exceeding 30. To establish a canteen, okay, this also we have discussed. To make available such sanitary conveniences as cool drinking water, toilets, spittoons, lunchrooms, wash basins, and so on. Working hours, 48 hours per week. Working hours should not exceed 48 per week. Not exceeding 9 hours per day. It should not exceed 9 hours per day. Half an hour rest after 5 hours of work. There should be half an hour rest after 5 hours of work. Adolescents, 4.5 hours per day. Adolescents, you know, for them we should not keep for 9 hours. It should be only 4.5 hours per day. Weekly hours shall not exceed 60. 48 is reasonable, but weekly overtime also it should never exceed 60 hours. Leave with wages, weekly holidays, earned leave 30 days, 1 day for every 20 days, earned leave 40 days. Like this, there are maternity leave and all these things we will discuss in the future classes. Occupational diseases we will discuss in the next class. I think your brain and my brain has exhausted. For more than 40 to 50 minutes, our brain cannot do continuous work. That's why I'm stopping here. Any interaction or any suggestions, you can put it in my WhatsApp and you can increase my knowledge. I am not selfish. If you improve my knowledge, it will be spread to you, the other students who are going to become the future doctors. It will be spread to them and it is useful for the community. That's why whatever suggestions, whatever good things you can contribute to me, it can be spread to the others. And one more announcement or request, whatever you like, that is the next Wednesday, July 1st, that happened to be the Doctor's Day, as we have told, B.C. Roy's birthday and death day. I want all of you to observe that one. It is not a celebration. Now we are observing the Doctor's Day because of this COVID. It is observation of the Doctor's Day. As a medical student, I request you to observe this one. In your 18 years of life, at any point of time, you might have gone to any doctor for fever or for any injury or for any headache, anything, even for refractive error or something. Please, on next Wednesday, that is July 1st, If it is convenient for you, because you are at home and your doctor will be nearby your home. If it is convenient for you, you go to the doctor along with your parents, if possible, otherwise yourself, and greet him. Doctor, you have treated me. Happy Doctor's Day. Like that. If you greet, you need not give anything. Don't give anything. You need not expend anything. Just greet him. As a medical student, it is your minimum responsibility, because good culture must come from you. You must have good future. You must have bright future. You must get good name. For that, from now onwards, go on doing good things. This is my request for this Doctor's Day. You please plan for that. 1 week ahead, I am telling. I think everybody can do it, but at least some people will do it. Everybody can do it, but some people will do it. You must be among those people who will do it. And after that, if you take a snap in your cell phone, you can send it with 1 or 2 lines of your experience. Thank you very much. If there are no questions, anything? Anybody? At least tell, yes sir, we will do. We will celebrate, not celebrate, we will observe the Doctor's Day. At least that one also you can put. Yes, 100, very good, thank you. I request every one of you to become the great, excellent, not excellent doctors. Exemplary doctors, not excellent, exemplary doctors. 0 to 3. Good, very good. The doctor may be your parent also. Anybody. At least one doctor, you greet him, how happy he feels, how he will recollect all those days also. It is the blessing you are getting from the doctor then. Please. 100, 023, very good. Okay, some people will not expose, but they will do. Thank you very much. The time is over. If anything, you can call me, you can contact me on WhatsApp. Thank you. Correct గా వచ్చేసి. ఎక్కడ ఆపాలి? ఎక్కడ? ఈ మూల పెట్టారా? ఇదా?